I trusted her. My wife, Veronica, beautiful, cunning, and now a traitor. I thought we had it all, but she was in bed with an arms dealer plotting my death. Jonathan Blackwell, the man I was supposed to protect us from, became her lover. They thought I wouldn't find out. They thought I was weak. But they forgot I'm a former Navy SEAL. Now I'm coming for them. My revenge will be swift, and it will be cruel. They won't see it coming. This isn't just payback. It's the end of everything they've built. I took a moment to lean against the stone column, trying to appear relaxed as I watched the busy shoppers around me. They hurried by, focused on their drinks and the many messages on their phones. I felt the familiar weight of my hidden sidearm against my side, a reassuring reminder after weeks in Dubai, where I had to rely only on my instincts and physical skills. Those skills were still sharp. My job in cybersecurity had improved my ability to notice details. After a while, I found a seat at a table in the mall food court. I placed an empty soda cup in front of me to seem like I belonged there, but I wasn't just there to sit. I needed a quiet space to think about what I had just discovered. Anger surged inside me, making it tough to stay still. Still, years of training helped me keep a calm exterior. Things had gone badly, but I knew at least one of them was in trouble. Probably my wife, Veronica, and her partner, Jonathan Blackwell, the infamous arms dealer known as the Phantom. Just thinking about them tightened my jaw. They seemed to forget I had once been a Navy SEAL before working in cybersecurity. I had plenty of enemies during my career, and now it looked like I might need to deal with two more. If they really were after me, they were being careless. They had to be arms dealers, and their people usually don't start trouble without making themselves known, not with a former Navy SEAL turned cybersecurity expert. I pulled out a cheap prepaid phone I'd managed to buy at a kiosk. I didn't think the seller believed my story about a bank problem, but I got the phone and 3 hours of calls for $200 cash. He probably reported me to someone higher up, and I understood why. He could tell something was off. A recent immigrant from the Middle East wasn't keen on drawing attention to himself. Let him inform someone, it didn't matter. I probably had more calling time than I would need, considering my situation. I took out a piece of a business card from my wallet and typed in the number for K2 Executive Services. A woman's voice answered, sharp and to the point. I tried to keep my voice steady. "I need help. My wife is in danger," I said, but the call ended suddenly. Frustrated, I leaned back and closed my eyes. I was stuck, not sure where to turn next. I might have to deal with them myself. Whatever happened, happened. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number showed just an internet link. I felt like I had nothing to lose. I pressed the button and the phone quickly responded by downloading an app. A few seconds later, an icon with a stylized K2 showed up on the screen. I tapped it, and the phone began to call. K2 Executive Services. The voice was muffled, like it was underwater, which made it hard to hear. "Please hold your phone at arm's length and look at the screen." I followed the instructions, and the screen lit up as it took my picture. It showed my face for a moment. I didn't look my best. My skin was pale, probably from shock and anger. Then the woman on the other end spoke again. "Name, please." "Dominic Thorne." There was a short pause. I felt like she was checking my background. "What is your current status?" "I'm fine, but I need help quickly." "What's your situation?" "My wife is involved with an arms dealer named Jonathan Blackwell. They are leaking sensitive information I used to access. I need to handle this." Suddenly, I heard hold music playing, a tune I didn't expect. Then the voice returned. "Thank you for waiting. We have someone nearby to assist you. Go to the south entrance of the mall and wait by the men's restroom. Someone will meet you in about 30 minutes. "I might not have that long. They could be coming for me now." "The person will help you immediately if needed." "Do you need medical help?" "No. I'm ready to take action." The line clicked off, leaving a weight in my stomach. I got up from the table and tried to walk casually, blending in with the holiday crowd. The south entrance was a quarter-mile away in the busy mall. As I left the food court, I checked behind me. No one seemed to be following. I had a little lead, but I knew better than to relax. I passed by clothing stores, shoe shops, and food places, staying focused. It took almost 20 minutes, and just as I spotted the restroom sign, I felt a firm grip on my right arm. A man and 2 kids in bright coats walked past, coaxing them with promises of hot chocolate. "Keep moving, Mr. Thorne," he said, with a faint accent, possibly Eastern European. I glanced at him. He wore a stylish black suit and a long coat. He didn't seem like one of Blackwell's men. He let me catch a glimpse of a small gun tucked inside his coat. I remembered seeing him during the unexpected event outside my home. "It's you, Dominic." "Yes, it's me. Just keep going. I'd prefer to avoid any trouble here." "But I will if you make me." He went quiet as we passed a young girl. thin in a dark coat with a bright purple backpack. Her hair was tucked under a light purple cap and she was focused on her phone. "You guys caught up faster than I expected." We had set up facial recognition cameras on the bridge months ago for another project. It was just luck that they were still working. And I happened to be heading this way. I noticed your car in the parking lot. I watched another family walk by. The two kids were small and clearly stressed. Even if I was in better shape, it was too risky with so many bystanders around. "Lucky me." He shrugged. "Those are the chances." He seemed polite for someone like him. I was too tired to think of how to act. He led me into a hallway by the bathroom, and we walked until we reached a corner. Time was running out. He pushed me around the corner and took out his weapon. A loud sound echoed off the walls. He took an unsteady step forward, then fell down. The girl in the light purple cap stood behind him, holding a large wrench ready for another swing. Her face was blank. She looked at me, then down at him, balancing the wrench on her shoulder. Crouching down, she checked his breathing and eyes, then picked up the tool. With ease, she tucked it into her backpack. She took his wallet out of his coat and put it into a silver envelope. A moment later, she removed the battery from his phone and tossed it in the trash. Then she added the phone to the envelope. She stood up and extended her hand with a serious look. "Come with me if you want to be safe." I just stared at her until she smiled. "I've always wanted to say that. Let's check for injuries." "No injuries, just a strong wish for revenge," I replied, my voice steady. She reached into her backpack and pulled out a small first aid kit. "Good. We might need you to be at your best. I'm your K2 contact. Call me Delaney. Nice to meet you. Now, can we leave before more of Blackwell's people arrive?" She nodded, a slight smile on her lips. "Oh, we're going to do more than that. We're going to take the fight to them." As we walked out of the mall, I told Delaney about my experience. The betrayal by Veronica, the secret information being sold to Blackwell, the danger I faced. With each part of my story, I saw anger grow in Delaney's eyes, matching my own. "So, what's the plan?" she asked, as we reached a regular car in the parking garage. I got into the passenger seat, my mind racing with what we needed to do next. First, we had to gather any evidence that was still out there. I had a secret office at home with all the information I had compiled on their operation. After that, we would confront them. No kindness would be shown. Delaney's smile was fierce as she started the car. "I like your approach, Dominic. Let's make them regret crossing you." As we drove out of the parking garage, a strong feeling of purpose washed over me. Veronica and Blackwell had made a big mistake by underestimating me. Now, they would face the consequences, and I wouldn't stop until I found justice. My kind of justice. The ride to my house was tense. Each shadow could hide a threat. But Delaney drove smoothly, her focus sharp from years of working undercover. When we turned onto my street, I noticed the shiny Aston Martin still parked in the driveway. "Nice car," I said, my tone laced with sarcasm. Delaney's expression tightened. "It was a gift from a friend." "I see." I nodded, my jaw tightening. It was Veronica's new car from Blackwell. "I guess he likes to keep his people happy." We parked a block away and walked toward the house, using the night and nearby homes for cover. As we got closer, I spotted Veronica through the living room window. She was pacing, nervously talking on the phone. "Looks like someone is anxious," Delaney whispered. "What should we do?" I considered our options for a moment. "We need that evidence. I'll create a distraction to draw her out. You sneak in and grab the data from my office. It's hidden behind a panel in the study, the third bookshelf from the left. War and Peace is the trigger." Delaney nodded, looking serious. "And if she tries to stop me?" "Do what you need to do," I said coldly, "but leave her unharmed. I want answers before this ends." With a silent agreement, Delaney moved into the shadows, heading around to the back of the house. I took a deep breath, preparing myself for what was to come. Then I walked up to the front door and rang the doorbell. The surprised look on Veronica's face when she opened the door was almost amusing. "Dominic. But how?" I pushed past her into the house, keeping an eye out for any potential threats. "Surprised to see me," I said with a smirk. "Sorry to disappoint you." Veronica's surprise quickly turned into concern. "Dominic, thank God you're safe. I was so worried after I heard about the attack." "Save it," I interrupted, my voice cold. "I know everything, Veronica, about Blackwell and the secret information you've been selling. Did you really think you could hide this from me?" Her face went pale, her facade breaking. "You don't understand, Dominic. It's not what you think, Jonathan. Jonathan!" I spat his name like it was poison. "You're on a first-name basis with that arms dealer now, aren't you? How thoughtful of him to get you that new car. I'm sure it wasn't worth betraying your country and your husband." Veronica looked around the room, searching for a way out. "Please, let me explain. You're in danger, Dominic. Jonathan has resources beyond what you can imagine." I stepped closer, my voice low and serious. I've faced worse challenges, and I'm not alone in this. A flicker of concern crossed Veronica's face. What do you mean? Before I could respond, a noise came from upstairs. Veronica turned towards the sound. What was that? Is someone here? I held her arm to stop her from checking. It doesn't matter. You're not going anywhere, Veronica. It's time to confront what you've done. Just then, Delaney appeared at the top of the stairs, holding a small hard drive. Got it. We should go. Veronica's eyes widened as she recognized her. You? You're the girl from the mall. Who are you? What are you doing in my house? Delaney ignored her, focusing on me. The area is still clear, but we shouldn't risk it. What should we do with her? She nodded toward Veronica. I thought for a moment and made a decision. She's coming with us. Blackwell will be searching for her, and I need to know everything she knows. Dominic, please, Veronica urged, her voice shaky. You don't understand what you're involved in. Jonathan will come after us all. I held onto her arm tighter. He can try. But first, you're going to tell us everything. Every detail, every contact, every secret. And trust me, I'll know if you're not being honest. As we hurried Veronica to the car, I saw reality start to hit her. The woman I had cared for and the life we had built together were all lies. But I pushed aside any feelings for now. There would be time for regrets later. Right now, I had a mission to complete. Delaney took the wheel, navigating smoothly through the quiet streets. Veronica sat quietly, her face showing apprehension. I kept my eyes on the road behind us, watching for any sign of danger. Where are we going? Veronica finally asked, her voice a soft whisper. Somewhere safe, I answered without looking at her. Somewhere Blackwell won't find us until we are ready. As the city lights disappeared behind us, I felt a sense of determination. The game had changed, and now I was in control. Veronica and Blackwell had no idea what was coming, and I planned to keep it that way until it was too late for them. The road ahead was dark, yet full of possibilities. Whatever came next, I felt prepared. They had tried to take everything from me. Now it was my turn. I leaned against the wall of the safe house. My eyes stayed on Veronica as she walked back and forth in the small room, restless and tense. The last day had been filled with lies and tension. Now, in the bright morning light, I could see how much it had affected her. Good. Let her feel a bit of the discomfort she had caused. You can't keep me here forever, Dominic, she said, her earlier tone of pleading replaced by anger. I didn't respond. Instead, I focused on the security monitors I had set up. The safe house was well protected, with many layers of security at every entrance. If Blackwell's men found us, they would have a tough fight ahead. Delaney's voice came through the radio. Perimeter's clear. No signs of activity within 5 miles. Got it, I replied, my voice steady. Stay alert. They can be tricky. I could feel Veronica's intense stare as I turned to look at her. The anger in her eyes was clear. You have no idea what you're up against, Dominic. Jonathan will find us. And when he does? When he does, he'll regret ever crossing me, I interrupted, my tone cold. Your boyfriend made a big mistake by using my wife to get to me. And you? You made a bigger mistake by agreeing to it. Veronica's face twisted with anger. You think you're so much better than everyone else, don't you? Always the hero, the perfect soldier. Did you ever think I wanted more than just being someone who was a part of your life? I felt a spark of anger, but quickly pushed it aside. So you chose to betray your country for a man who brings pain and hardship to others? Was it worth it, Veronica? Was the promise of influence worth throwing away everything we built together? For a moment, I saw a glimpse of uncertainty in her eyes, but it vanished quickly, replaced by defiance. You don't understand, Dominic. Jonathan offered me real power, not just an existence defined by someone else's ambitions. I couldn't help but laugh at her words. Oh, I'm sure that would have made a difference. More weapons in the hands of criminals, more innocent lives harmed. You're mistaken if you think Blackwell cares about anything but himself. Before Veronica could reply, my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number, but I recognized the code immediately. It was my contact in the task force. We found Blackwell's private island off the coast. There's a major arms deal happening in 48 hours. I felt a rush of excitement. This was it. The chance to take down Blackwell and his operation all at once. I looked back at Veronica, a small, cold smile on my lips. Looks like your boyfriend is about to face some serious trouble. Her eyes grew wide with concern. Dominic, please, you don't have to do this. We can still find a way to fix things. Just don't go after Jonathan. He could hurt you. I stepped closer. My voice was low and serious. No, Veronica, he'll try, but he won't succeed, and when this is over, you'll both end up facing the consequences. I turned away, getting ready for what was to come. Veronica's pleas became background noise as I focused on the task ahead. There was no space for doubt, no room for compassion. Blackwell and his operation needed to be taken down, and I was determined to do it. Hours slipped by as I prepared. Everything was checked and checked again. I memorized every detail about Blackwell's place. Our team was made up of skilled operatives from different agencies, all dedicated to taking down one of the world's most infamous arms dealers. When night came, I did one last check of the safe house security. Veronica sat quietly, having lost all hope. I felt nothing as I looked at her. The woman I once cared for was now a distant memory, someone I needed to deal with. "I'm leaving," I said, my voice flat. "When this is done, the authorities will come for you. Think about how to save what's left of your life." She looked up at me, her eyes weary. "Dominic, I'm sorry for everything." I paused at the door but didn't turn around. "Save it for the judge. Your apologies don't mean anything to me." With that, I stepped out into the night, leaving behind my past and embracing the certainty of the mission ahead. Getting to Blackwell's Island was all about stealth and focus. Under the cover of darkness, our team approached in a quiet submersible. It glided silently through the dark water. The weight of my gear felt familiar and reassuring. Each piece was a reliable tool for the challenge ahead. As we neared the shore, I signaled the team to come up. One by one, we surfaced, our dark wetsuits blending with the night. The island stood ahead of us, a dark shape against the starry sky. "Alpha Team, report!" I whispered into my earpiece, and I heard the quiet clicks confirming everyone's readiness. "Good. Everyone was set to go." "Bravo Team, in position and ready to support," came the soft response. Our snipers were already set, watching key points around the compound. I took a deep breath, readying myself for what lay ahead. This wasn't just about bringing down Blackwell or settling a personal score. The goal was to stop a man who had caused a lot of pain and had benefited from disorder and loss, and I was determined to see this done, no matter what it took. I spoke clearly. "Listen up, everyone. Blackwell is our main target. We want him alive if we can, but let's not take any unnecessary risks. Anyone else can be left behind. Is that clear?" I received nods and agreements from the team. I felt reassured. These were skilled people, the best in their field. They understood what was on the line. "Let's move out." We made our way through the thick jungle around the building, moving quietly and with intent. Years of training kicked in. We were alert, paying attention to every little sound. The chirping of birds or the gentle rustle of leaves were the only things breaking the quiet as we got closer to our target. I raised my hand, signaling the team to stop. In the darkness, we spotted the first line of defense, a tall wall topped with barbed wire with guards patrolling. I gave a quick signal to Bravo Team to take care of the guards quietly. 2 muted noises were all that broke the night, barely audible. The guards fell without a sound. Their teammates quickly assisted in keeping their bodies hidden. "All clear," came the soft message through the radio. We continued, climbing the wall easily. Once on the other side, we split into pairs, each heading to a designated entry point. My partner, a former elite operator named Martinez, stayed close as we approached a side door to the main building. The lock gave way quickly to Martinez's tools. In moments, we stepped into the cool, air-conditioned interior, a big change from the sticky warmth outside. I motioned for Martinez to lead, and we moved deeper into the building. The information we had received was good, matching our plans perfectly, and we navigated the twisting hallways with confidence. As we got closer to where Blackwell was likely to be, we heard voices coming from the next room. Many languages mixed together, along with the sound of glasses clinking. An important deal was underway. I tapped my communicator 3 times, our signal to gather and get ready. Almost immediately, I felt the team positioning themselves around the room, ready to spring into action. "On my mark," I whispered. 3, 2, 1, go! Suddenly, the room erupted into chaos. Flashbangs went off, filling the space with bright light and overwhelming sound. We rushed in, ready and shouting orders in multiple languages. "FBI, everyone on the ground!" and "Interpol, hands visible." Most people in the room were shocked and dropped to the floor immediately. A few attempted to resist, but they were quickly managed. In the midst of all the commotion, my eyes searched for one person, Jonathan Blackwell. I saw him at the back of the room trying to escape in the chaos. Not this time. I pushed forward, weaving around worried people and scattered furniture. Blackwell noticed me, his eyes wide with surprise and fear. He turned to run, but I was quicker. I tackled him hard, bringing him down to the ground. He fought back, hitting me in the side, but I hardly felt it. "This is it, Blackwell," I said, holding him on the floor. "You're finished." He kept struggling. He shouted angry words in different languages. I tightened my grip and put handcuffs on him as I stood him up. I leaned close, my voice low. "You made a big mistake coming after me and my family. I hope it was worth it." I could see the fear in his eyes. He had misjudged me, thinking he could use Veronica against me without facing the consequences. Now that he understood his situation, I saw the realization that he had made a serious error. I pushed him toward Martinez, who took control of him. The rest of the team was handling others involved and collecting evidence. The operation had gone very well. As the adrenaline wore off, I took a moment to look around. Years of effort and personal struggles had led to this moment. Blackwell's operation was ruined. His buyers were caught, and we had valuable information about arms trafficking. I felt no joy, just a strong sense of satisfaction that justice had been served. There would be time to think later. Right now, there was still work to finish. I calmly contacted the task force headquarters. This is Alpha 1. Target secured. I repeat, Blackwell is caught. Operation successful. The response was quick. Copy that, Alpha 1. Great job. An extraction team is on the way. Secure the area and prepare for a meeting. I acknowledged the order and turned back to my work. The night was not over, but the toughest part was done. Blackwell's reign was over, and soon Veronica would also have to face her actions. As I moved through the area, watching evidence being collected and prisoners being processed, I allowed myself a small, cool smile. They had tried to bring me down, to use me for their advantage. Instead, they had sealed their own fate. Let them remain in prison, I thought. They'll have to live with the consequences of their choices. As for me, I had a job to finish and a life to rebuild, and I felt no regret for the decisions I had made. The extraction went smoothly. Our team and the prisoners boarded the waiting helicopters. As the first light of dawn began to appear in the sky, we lifted off. I watched as Blackwell's island faded away, knowing it would soon be filled with teams searching for every bit of evidence we had gathered. The flight back to the mainland felt like a blur, mixing tiredness with a rush of adrenaline after the mission. I managed to catch a little restless sleep, but my mind was still busy with everything that had happened in the last few days. When we landed at a secure military base, I was alert and ready for what came next. Blackwell was taken away for questioning. I knew I wouldn't be allowed to go in. My feelings were too involved, but that was okay with me. I had other things to focus on. I headed to the command center, where the task force leaders were gathering for an early meeting. As I walked in, heads turned, and I noticed looks of respect and even awe on some faces. Good. They should understand the consequences of crossing the wrong person. A veteran agent named Harding greeted me with a nod. Great job out there. Initial reports are coming in. It looks like we have enough to keep Blackwell behind bars for a long time, along with his associates. I allowed a small, grim smile. That was good news. What about the situation here? I asked. Harding's face grew serious. We have a team heading to the safe house now. She'll be in custody within the hour. I nodded, feeling a cool sense of satisfaction. I want to be there when they bring her in. Harding looked like he wanted to disagree, but changed his mind when he saw my expression. Okay, but you need to stay back. You've done your job. Let the system take care of it. I didn't respond. We both understood that the system wasn't perfect and could easily be influenced by people with power, but I planned to let justice run its course. Veronica would face the outcome of her actions, one way or another. The drive to the safe house felt endless. By the time we got there, local law enforcement and FBI agents had already secured the area. I stepped out of the SUV, my body tired from the night's work, but my mind was clear as I approached the house. The front door opened, and 2 agents came out with Veronica between them, her hands cuffed behind her back. She looked small and defeated, nothing like the confident woman I had once known. When she saw me, her eyes widened, showing fear and maybe a hint of resignation. I stopped a few steps away, keeping my face neutral. It's over, Veronica. Blackwell is in custody, and his whole operation has been shut down. She stared at me for a long moment, her eyes empty. Finally, in a barely audible whisper, she asked, "What happens now?" Now? I felt a wave of cold anger rise within me. Now you face the consequences of your choices, betrayal, conspiracy. I hope it was worth it. Her shoulders drooped as she spoke. Dominic, I interrupted her because I didn't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear your reasons or your apologies. You made your choice. Now, you have to deal with it. I turned away, unable to look at her any longer as the agents led her to a waiting car. I heard her call out one last time. Dominic, please, I'm sorry for everything. I didn't turn back. Her words didn't matter to me anymore. The woman I had loved, the life we had built together, it was all gone, altered by her choices. As the car drove away, I felt a burden lift from my shoulders. It wasn't completely over. I still had meetings and paperwork ahead, but the hardest part was behind me. I had made it through. I had turned the situation around on those who wanted to take me down, and I had done it while staying true to myself. Harding walked over, looking at me with respect. You did well, Thorne. Not many could have accomplished this. I nodded, accepting the praise. What's next? I asked. He raised an eyebrow. Next, you have a lot of paperwork to tackle. Then I suggest you take a long break. You've earned it. I shook my head. I don't need a break. I need to get back to work. Harding regarded me for a moment and then nodded. Okay, I'll see what I can do. But remember, Thorne, take some time to reflect on everything. It's been quite a journey. As he walked away, I stood there watching the sun rise higher in the sky. Reflect? There was nothing to ponder. I had done what I needed to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Veronica and Blackwell had made their choices, and now they would face what came next. I was ready for whatever lay ahead. The betrayal had hurt, but it had also set me free. No more mixed loyalties or secrets weighing on me. I was now focused and prepared for the next challenge. The following weeks flew by with meetings, court dates, and discussions with lawyers. I made sure to provide all the evidence against Veronica, ensuring she would face the full outcome of her actions. The divorce went quickly and without mercy. I made sure she wouldn't benefit from our shared assets. I remained determined and concentrated. There was no room for doubt or sadness. Veronica and Blackwell had made their choices, and now they were facing the results. I was already looking forward to the next challenge. Months passed, and slowly things began to calm down. I found a new apartment in Rome, the Eternal City, a fitting place for this new part of my life. The events of the past year had changed me in ways I was still figuring out, but I had also found a strange sense of peace. One quiet evening, my phone rang. It was the secure line I used for work. I answered right away. "Thorne," said a familiar voice on the other end. It was my contact from the agency. "We have a situation in Buenos Aires. We need someone with your skills. Are you interested?" I felt a rush of excitement. The thrill of a new mission filled me. The details were confidential. Only a few needed to know. But I knew it was significant, perhaps even more than my last major task. I didn't hesitate. I was in. A car would be sent in 6 hours. As I packed my bag, I saw my reflection in the mirror. The man looking back was different from the one who had faced the challenges of the past months. I felt tougher, a bit more resolute, but also clearer about who I was. I wasn't carrying the weight of secrets or mixed feelings anymore. The betrayal had hurt, but it had also given me freedom. Now I was living my truth, a fighter, a protector, someone to be respected. As I boarded the plane to Buenos Aires, I felt a strong excitement brewing inside me. No matter what challenges were ahead, I was ready to tackle them. My past was behind me, and I had learned valuable lessons. My future was open, filled with chances and purpose. The plane rolled down the runway, speeding up for liftoff. As we soared into the sky, I settled back in my seat with a small, determined smile. The journey was starting again, and this time I was serious about it. Veronica's betrayal and Jonathan's threats were behind me. I had come out on top, and the future looked bright and full of promise. Hey, listeners of Temptress Cheating Tales! If you enjoyed hearing this story and want to stay in the loop with our latest content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next wonderful story.